data from Google Earth Engine. Okay. Then you can easily get the idea, or this type of map you can see. Okay. Then you can easily get. Basically, this we can easily export. Suppose I create this type of map. This type of map I can export as a GeoTIFF file format. Okay, TIFF file format. So further, this GeoTIFF file format I cannot use directly in the my paper or presentation. So that's why I just use it for creating the map layout, and then we are just using the art research paper or presentation. Okay. Okay, so this is the JavaScript API code editor, but I want to use the Google Earth Engine using Python environment. So how I can connect the Python, okay, with my cloud. So this is my cloud project, Mijan 690. So this is my cloud project. So this cloud I need to connect with the Python environment. And why I need to use the Python? Because Python have a lot of powerful library. We can easily connect the pandas, matplotlib, then TensorFlow or Crush. Not only for the, it's provided a lot of library for the different purpose. We use the rasterio or different types of library we can easily get in the Python. And this type of library we can easily integrate with Google Earth Engine, okay, and apply the different types of analysis. So that's why it's very important to use the Python and Google Earth Engine. So let's try to show you that. So in this case, if you want, you can also use the Jupyter notebook, but Google Colab is more better because Google Colab is already installed at some library. Simply search Google Colab. So now you find out welcome to Colab. Just click on here and click on the new notebook. Okay, so this is the notebook. Okay, so you can see this notebook is more complex, but previous time code editor, you can see this code editor is very rearranged. All of those we can easily get from this code editor, but this code editor is just only for the cell. Okay, we can also put the name. Suppose I put the name first day. So this is the code editor. There is nothing, just only for the cell. We are just make the environment of the Google Earth Engine. So when you import the Google Earth Engine, make the environment, first of all, you need to import some library, Python library. So one library is the GEmap. GEmap is one kind of Python library. The GEmap library, it's interacting with the Google Earth Engine, mainly connect the Google Earth Engine. As well as we also need to import another library. It's called the Earth Engine library, Earth Engine library. Okay, so these two libraries need when you create the environment. I simply click to the run. And this type of library is already installed in Google Colab. Okay, so after that, just dot authenticate. Basically, it just simply check your verification, authenticate authorization using your Gmail. Okay, so in this time, this Google Colab, you try to open the same email. Which email you want to registration with the Google Earth Engine. Okay, try to keep the same email for authorization. Otherwise, it creates some problem. So in this case, my Google Colab Gmail and the registration Google Earth Engine email is the same. Okay, so then I simply click on the authenticate for authorization checking. So now it's click on the allow, and if you check, it show you your Gmail. Okay, so this Gmail I used for Google Earth Engine registration, and I keep the same email on the Google Colab. So just click on here and then continue. And if you check that, continue again. So now is authenticate is successfully done. It's working, yeah, done. So now dot initialize. In the initialize, if you we need to put the credential. So previous time it's not mandatory, but present time it must be mandatory. All of users, they must need the cloud project. You can see it show that no project found. So that's why we face this type of problem. So we need to define the cloud project, and where I can get the cloud project, we can get the cloud project from here. So this is my cloud project name. Okay, So without this cloud project, we cannot run the Google Earth Engine in the Python environment. Not only for that, I have also other, you can see this one cloud project, this is another, this is another, this is another, this is another. So I can use any one, no problem, it will be work, no problem. So I want to use suppose this one. So just I simply define the project name. So just use here the project equal, just a minute, project equal, put the project name Mizan E dot Mizan 690. We can put any name as the project. So this is my project name. I simply write and run the code again. So now it will work. There is no problem. So only use this 3 line of code, then we can create the environment. So now this code editor is ready to use the Google Earth Engine. Okay. So now this code editor, I can easily apply any Google Earth Engine function. I can easily apply this type of Google Earth Engine function. Basically this type of function. I can easily connect with the Google Earth Engine. I can easily import any kinds of data set from Google Earth Engine. So now this code editor is ready to use Google Earth Engine, but there is no map. You can see it's not showing any kinds of map, but it automatically show you the map. So we just simply add a map. So for that, just take a variable, suppose map. So I explain the later about what is the variable, how we can define the variable later. So just I take a variable, suppose map, and call the package. So this is my package. I just call and then use the map function. So from this package, I just call the map function. Okay. And these things, this whole things stored in this variable. Now run the code. Okay, it also worked. So now I want to display the map. So this whole things stored in this variable. I just copy the variable and paste and run. So now it will be added the map. So we find out this type of open state map in here. So this is the way we are just applying this type of environment we create and also add the map. Okay. So now we can easily add any kinds of analysis. We can easily add any kinds of satellite data or different types of GIS remote sensing application. We can easily do using this map. And now it's create the environment of the Google Earth Engine. Okay. So I hope you can easily create the environment. It's not much difficult. Okay. Any question?
Sorry for interrupting.
Please, any question? Yeah.
Sir, when we need Google Colab besides Google Earth Engine?
Okay, I'll explain about that. Just a minute. Okay. So just okay, this one. Okay, so now we talk about that Google Earth Engine comparison between Python and JavaScript. So JavaScript, it provides you all of those we can easily get. Okay, and JavaScript API code editor is very powerful. Okay, any beginners, they can easily learn the Google Earth Engine using the JavaScript API code editor. But Python code editor is not much good. It's just a cell. Okay, and we need to memorize all of those. So we can simply check the comparison. Python have a powerful code editor. We can easily get all of those. We don't need to memorize anything. But when you work with more deeply analysis, then we just simply connect the Google Earth Engine with Python, because Python have a lot of powerful library. TensorFlow, scikit-learn, pandas, then PyTorch, NumPy, then Matplotlib, different types of library. We can easily integrate with the Python and do lot of analysis. Okay, suppose I want to apply the deep learning. Okay, in the JavaScript API code editor, you cannot use the deep learning freely. But when you apply the Python library for the deep learning, we can easily connect the Google Earth Engine and Python and apply the deep learning freely. Okay, but when we apply this code editor, we can just apply for the machine learning, and this type of machine learning built in machine learning. But in the Python, we can easily create our own machine learning method. Okay, and apply the Google Earth Engine. Okay, so it's this the main region. It provides you a lot of powerful Python library. Okay, but Google Earth Engine, this code editor give you the lot of opportunities. Suppose we can easily learn. We don't need to memorize anything. We can simply use this code editor, and we can easily create the different types of web application using this code editor. But Python, it have lot of library. This type of library we can easily use for the deeply analysis. Okay, for the deep learning, or machine learning. We can easily create them different types of chart using the matplotlib, or we can easily apply the numpy, tensorflow, cross, and more deep analysis we can easily do. So that's the region. In this session I discuss about the both of Python and JavaScript. So then you can easily learn how we can easily use the Python and JavaScript at the same time. Okay, but we have another online training program. If you check it, okay, let me show you that. Just a minute. So we have another, this is the, okay, you can see basically this is the deep learning Google Earth Engine Python API for machine learning and deep learning. Okay, basically deep learning we can easily do using the Python library. Okay, that's why we are just make the another course content only for the deep learning, suppose convolutional neural network. So this type of things we cannot apply in the Google Earth Engine. This code editor is not apply. Okay, but we can also apply in the Python. Okay, connecting with the Google Earth Engine, it also possible to use. Okay. Okay, so I think I got the idea about the comparison between the Python and JavaScript. But as the beginners, when you start the learning with Google Earth Engine, first of all, we need to use this code editor. Okay, then move to the Python. Even Google Earth Engine is also supported by R programming language, and R have lot of library or packages. So it also help you with the different types of analysis using the R. Okay. Okay. Any question you can ask me, please. Okay, I hope there is no question. So let's continue. So now we talk about, and I will send you all of practice code. So you also try to practice and also get the recorded session also. Okay. So let's go. Next slide. Open the slide. So now we talk about some basic principles of JavaScript and Python syntax. So in this case, we are just focusing for the beginners. Basically, if you have zero knowledge about the programming, so that's why I just start from the beginners level. Okay, then we try to go to advanced after by after. Okay. So in the JavaScript and Python syntax, so both of syntax I try to explain, and then I hope you can get the some basic idea about the programming language. And this same concept further we also use in the ArcMap, uh, use the Google Earth Engine for the remote sensing analysis. Okay. So all of programming language have a some common item. Suppose print is one kind of common item. Okay. Then string is one kind of data type. Then number is one kind of data type. Then boolean, true and false, is one kind of data type. Then comment, all of programming language we are just using the comment. Then also list, then also use the dictionary or function or loop, for loop, while loop. So this type of things are the common item of programming language. It can be C++ or Python or JavaScript. Every programming language have a some common item. Okay, same like as for JavaScript and Python. Suppose I will just show you that. Okay, suppose I want to print, just let me increase my, okay, font size. Yeah, suppose I want to print this number 2025 and run the code. Run the code, we can get the result. Another console tab, you can see it show the result 2025. There is no problem. Okay. Suppose I want to just take the another print and print my name and run the code. So now it show a problem. If you check, we find out that Mizan is not defined. So it's kind of one kind of problem or error. So why it show the error? The basic things about it's a data type. So it's called the number data type. Okay, and it's called the string data type. And when I use this type of slash, it's mainly indicating about the comment. Okay, comment just give the description. Okay, you can put anything, we can write anything as a comment. Comment is not part of the code, but it also give you the description about this code. So it's a number data type and it's a string data type. What is the string? String mainly group of character, just like as the A B C D. Okay, group of character, it's called the string. So now if you check, when I run the number, it worked, there is no problem. Okay, but when I run the string, it show a problem. Okay, so anyone can guess it, what's the problem in here? Okay, so this problem is that you always remember that when you print a string, you must use the quotation. Just use the quotation. Okay, quotation, start and end part. Okay, it can be single quotation or double quotation, doesn't matter, but start and end part, simply use the quotation. So now if I just use the quotation and run the code, you can check it will be work, there is no problem. Okay, so from this code we can get the decision. When you print number data type don't need the quotation. Okay, but string data type you must use the quotation start and end. Okay, just always remember that. So when you print any string, you must need the quotation start part and end part. But when you print the number, any number, don't need the quotation. Okay, so now we talk about another important thing, it's called the variable. Okay, variable. So what is the variable? So variable, we can say that like as a folder. So if you check in my just a minute, yeah. Suppose if you check, this is the one kind of folder. Okay, in this folder I stored different types of file. You can see my folder name is the screenshots. So when I click, then I find out all of file. So this type of file is stored in this folder. Okay, this folder is stored. So variable like a same. So variable is stored different types of item. In this time, suppose this is my folder name screenshot. So same like as variable have a name. Okay, so suppose I just create the variable. Suppose you can put any name as a variable name. Suppose I put the name suppose number. So I put the variable name is number. Suppose this is my folder name. Okay, so now in this folder I just stored some number. Suppose I stored the number 100. So this number is stored in this folder. Okay, variable can be anything but have some limitation. So I'll discuss one by one this type of limitation also. So suppose I take a variable number equal, then assign the value. So this value is stored in this variable. Okay, and it's called the variable. And when you define the variable in JavaScript, before the variable name, this is the variable, before the variable name we need to use at the var keyword. It always we are just use. So var keyword always you need to use before the variable name. Then define the variable, then equal, then assign the value 100. So now this 100, this value is stored in this folder. So let's go try to print. Just use the print function and call this number. Okay, call this number. So if I run the code, you can see we can get the result 100. Okay, because this folder or this variable is stored the 100. Okay, so same another. Suppose take a variable. I put the variable name, suppose name, and I define my name, suppose Nijan, and then Before the variable name, use the var keyword. So now this is this folder or this variable stored this value. So I want to print name and run the code. So you can see we find a problem. Anyone can guess it? What is the problem in here? Anyone?
So basically, Bijan is a string character.
Yes. So
And
it's
script type variables. That's why you should use for Bijan.
yes. Okay. So it's a data type. So first of all, it's a number. Number is don't need any kinds of data type. But when you print any string, so I want to print this is my string means group of character. So I just simply use here the quotation start and also in part. So now run the code, it will be work. There is no problem. Okay, it will also work. There is no problem. This same thing we can also apply for the Python. Suppose in the Python programming, just I take the new cell and I want to print suppose this number 2025 and run the code. It also work. There is no problem. Suppose print suppose without quotation, you can see what the problem. It show the same problem. You can see name Mizan is not defined. Same problem you also find out in here. So just simply put the quotation, single quotation or double quotation. So I put the double quotation and run the code. There is no problem. It's work. Okay. So now take the variable, same like as JavaScript, but we are just remove the var keyword. Okay, var is not need for the Python. Just I take paste here. Var is not need. Okay, var is need only for the JavaScript. So just I remove. I take a variable equal, assign the value 100 and run the code. It also work. There is no problem. So same like as another. Suppose this one, var is not need for the Python. Just I copy and then paste and remove the var keyword. Var is not need because var is need only for the JavaScript. Run the code. So you can get the result. Okay, so you can see the difference between the Python and JavaScript. Only for the var. Var is need when you define the variable, but Python var is not need. Okay. Okay. So I hope you can get the idea about the variable. But if you check in my folder, I stored the more file. Okay, you can say I put the more file in a one variable or one folder. I stored the more file. So let's go try to store the more item in our one variable. Then check what happened. Suppose I stored the more number. Suppose 2000, 2010, 2015, 2020. You can see it already show this type of problem. So you always remember that when you add the more item in one variable or one folder, we are just use here the square bracket start and int. Okay, and now it work as a list of item. So if I run the code, just run the code, you can see this number work as a list. Click on the list, we find out the serial number 0 1 2 3 4, and JavaScript programming is a zero base, so it start the counting from 0, and 0 refers to the first item, 1 it's the second item, 2 is the third item, then fourth and fifth item. So now it work as a list. Suppose I can make the list for name also. Suppose that I put here the name. Suppose I put here the name. So you can see it already show this type of problem. But when I just make a square bracket and also close the square bracket, then it works. So now run the code. So now again, so we find out this type of name list. So you can see first item Mijan, second item Maksura, then this type of name we can easily find out as the list. So how I can make the list? Just use the square bracket, and list is stored the items more than one. Okay, so this same concept you also use in the Python. Just copy and take the new cell. Var is not need for the Python. Okay, just I make the list and I want to print the list. Run the. Okay, we find out this type of list. Suppose you want to check another list for same process. Just I copy. So now just simply take the new cell, and var is not need for the Python. Okay, just put the variable name and list. Click on it will work. So I hope you can also get the idea about the list concept, how we can easily make the list and store the item more than one. Okay, so now we talk about the dictionary. Okay, so what is the dictionary? So just I write here dictionary. So in the dictionary we have the pairs, suppose keyword and key value. Keyword, keyword, and for this keyword what is the key value? Okay, key value. So it keyword and key value make a one item. Keyword and key value make a one item. So let's go try to create an example about the dictionary. Suppose I just put the keyword, suppose country. For the country, I choose a key value. Suppose I put the country name is Bangladesh. Bangladesh. Then it's a one item. It's create the one item. I put the another keyword, suppose food. For I put the food, suppose rice. Suppose I put the another year. Suppose 2025. Okay. Suppose I create the another, so city. I put city, suppose Dhaka. So you can see in this case what happened. Keyword and key value. Keyword and key value. Keyword and key value make a pair, and then it's just make an item. So it's a one item. This is the another item. This is another item. And when you define the dictionary, just use here the curly bracket start and curly bracket int. So now whole thing just store it in a variable. Before the variable name, use the var keyword. Put any name. I put the name, suppose dict and equal. So now this dictionary is stored in this variable. So now try to print and check what happened. Dict and run the code. So now we find out a dictionary. If you check, it show the total 4 properties in the dictionary, total 4 keyword and 4 key value. So if you check, you can find out the city, Dhaka, country, Bangladesh, food, rice, year 2025. In the dictionary, we can also add the list. Suppose in the dictionary, I want to add the list of country. Okay, so how I can add the list of country in the dictionary? Very easy. Just you can put the start the square bracket and make the list of your country name. Suppose I put the country name Bangladesh. Suppose I put here the Pakistan. Suppose I put here that Nepal. Suppose I put here the India or any country. So I put this type of list. Close the square bracket. So now in this dictionary, I just add the list of country. So run the code, you can see. So you can see this is the dictionary, and in the dictionary I add the another list of country. So you can get the list of country. Okay. Same process, you can also add the list of year. Same process, list of city, list of food, same process, we can add that. So we remember that in the dictionary we can also connect the list also. Okay, this same concept we can also apply for the Python. Just I copy the same line of code and take the new cell and paste and remove the var. Var is not need for the Python. Run the code, we find out the dictionary. Okay. Okay, we can got the idea about the dictionary also and list. So now we talk about that function. So basically a function can be two types, built-in function and non-built-in function. Suppose if you check this type of function, it's called the built-in function. So this type of function have a specific task. Suppose this function help me to construct a new date object. So this it do a specific task. Or any kinds of function, if you check this type of function have a specific task. So this function construct a new list. Okay, but I want to create my own function. Suppose I create a function for my specific task. So this function I use and do a specific work. Okay, I put an example. Suppose I put an example. Suppose I want to print 100. Suppose 100 plus 20. Then I want to print, suppose 100 minus 20. I want to print, suppose 100 multiply 20. I want to print 100 divided by 20. So I simply put this type of arithmetic operation between 120 and run the code. We can get the result in here. Okay, it also works. There is no problem. But I want to create a function. This function help me to compute addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division for any two number. Any two number. So I can also do it randomly also. Traditional way. I simply put the value, then I can easily do it. But I want to create a function. This function automatically, I just put the input, any two number, it automatically computed. Suppose addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So it's one kind of function I just use and I reuse again and again. This function I reuse again and again for the different types of number. So this is the power of function. So let's go. We just create a function. First of all, function structure in JavaScript. So when you define a function in JavaScript programming, first of all, we just define a variable name. Before the variable name, use the var keyword, then variable name. You can put any name as a variable. I put the name, suppose any name. Okay, variable name you cannot use the under space. Suppose I just put the any name. This type of things is not a variable. We can use it at the underscore. Okay, then it just like a one word, and we can easily use this type of variable. Just put the underscore. So now I take a var keyword and put the variable name, then equal sign, then put the function keyword. Okay, so it's a keyword function and var. You can see in the function it show the black font color, and also var show as the same color. So it means that it's a keyword. All of keyword, not only for that, all of keyword show this type of font. Okay, black font color, black bold font color. We find out all of keyword. Then function all time show as a this type of pink color. Any kinds of function. Okay, so we find out var. Put the variable name, we can put any name, and then put the function keyword. Then in the parenthesis, just put the elements. So what is the element? I discussed about some time. Then put the curly bracket. In this curly bracket, just put your arguments. Basically, what you need. What you needed. So just this is the structure about the function. Okay, always we are just use the same structure. Always we are just use the same structure for the function. So we define a variable name, then function keyword, then element name, then use the curly bracket, and then put our argument. So in this case, what is my argument? What is my goal? My goal is that I want to create a function. This function help me to compute any two number for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division for any two number. So let's go try to create. First of all, take a variable name. I put the name, suppose calculator equal. Then put the function keyword. Okay, this keyword. Then put the parenthesis and put the element. So element, it depends on your work. So in this case, I want to work any two number. I want to work any two number. This two number I define as a and B. This is my two element, A and B. Then use the curly bracket. In this curly bracket, I need to define what I need using A and B. What I need using A and B. I need print A plus B. I need print A minus B. I need print A multiply with B. I need print A divided by B. So this is my goal. This is my argument. So now this is my function. Okay. So in this function, when I input two number, it automatically summation, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So now I just call this function variable name and paste here. and give the input. I put the A suppose 50 and also put suppose B 20. So now in this function 50 is A and 20 is B, and this function help me at the same time summation, subtraction, multiplication and division. If I run the code, you can say we find out this type of result. So now it's one kind of function. This function I reuse again and again. Suppose I just put the another number. I put suppose 400 and put here suppose 10. So now run the code. So now we can get the result. Okay. So in the remote sensing, for the different types of calculation, we are use this type of function. Okay. So what the purpose to use the function? Reuse our code. Okay. So just I create a function. Further, I just reuse for the different number. Okay. So all time you remember that we can create the different function in remote sensing, and further we reuse it. Okay. And it just decrease our time, okay, for the analysis, because I have a function. This function I simply connect with my input, we can get the result. Okay, but this is the basic structure about the function. Okay, when you create any function, just we are use this same concept. So now we talk about the Python, how we can create the function. So when you create the function in the Python, first of all, put the def. It's one kind of keyword. So def, then put the function variable name. I put suppose calculator. Then put the parenthesis. And the parenthesis just define A and B element name and put the colon sign, and then define what you need using A and B. Same, I need print A plus B. I want to print A minus B. I want to print A multiply B. I want to print A divided by B. So now run the code. It create the function. So further this function I just simply copy the function variable name, and then I simply input a value. Suppose A for 100, B for 20. So now run the code, it automatically show you the all of result. Okay. So same concept we are just apply and create the function in the Python also. And when you create the function, our main target, always reuse it again and again. Suppose I have 10,000 images. So this 10,000 images, when I multiply, suppose I have 10,000 images. So this 10,000 images I multiply with a value. So when you do suppose one by one, this 10,000 images, you need lot of time. Okay, when you do randomly one by one. But when I create a function, very quickly I can multiply 10,000 images with a specific value very quickly. Further also discuss about this type of practical example also, then you can easily get the idea. But this is the basic concept for creating the function. Okay, anyone any question you can ask me, please.
Sir, could not understand the function.
Okay, don't understand about the function, yeah? Okay, I can explain about the function. So basically function can be two types. Suppose I create a function, it help me to calculate any two number. Okay, so first of all you can check the function structure. So in the function structure, when you create any function, just apply the same structure all time. So in the structure, first of all put the var keyword, put any name, then equal sign, then function keyword, then put the element name. Okay, then put the curly bracket. Between this curly bracket just put your argument. So now we take a variable, suppose calculator. Okay, this is my any name, you can put any name. I put the calculator, equal sign. I call the function keyword. In this case I want to compute any two number for addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So I define a and b. Then in this curly bracket, I need to define what I need. I need using this element, I need print a plus b, a minus b, a multiply b, a divided by b. So now this is the function, okay, and this is my function variable name. So I call the function variable name and define a and b value. So now it automatically go to this function and compute a plus b. A plus b mainly 400 plus 10, 400 minus 10, 400 multiply 10, 400 divided by 10. Okay, and show you the result in here. Okay, and same concept also in here. You can see we are just create a function. So for the Python, use here the def and put the function variable name. It's a function variable name. Then parenthesis and define the element name a and b. Put the colon sign. So now put your argument. So now run the code. I call the function variable name and define a and b. So now it automatically computed a plus b, a minus b, a multiply b, a divided by b. Okay. Okay, so this is the concept about the function. So now we are just make a break for 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes, we are just make start again. Okay, just make a break for